Okay, welcome to our post show, Brian Shaffer. What do you guys think? You guys start.
Okay, there haven't been a lot of specific comments. We've had a lot of comments, glad that we did the episode. A lot of people suggesting other cases. And then I've had a couple really long conversations with people just discussing what they think happened to Brian. So it's been kind of interesting.
What do people think?
Some people still think he met with foul play after he left the bar.
Has anyone else felt the way Denise and I felt about it?
Other people have said before that he was gay and dealing with that struggle.
But didn't necessarily say he just walked away from his life to start over?
Well, I think that's kind of implied when you go that route. I mean, that's what he couldn't face. And basically, it's either people think he met with foul play or he just left.
It's still feel like he left.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, even if you let yourself go to a logical place for a moment, it's like, this isn't a small, frail individual. Mm-mm. This was a, tall guy who was very, like, his energy was grounded. Mm-hmm. He was very conscious and aware. He even I know he had been drinking. So it's like, even from a logical perspective, I can't make sense of foul play. Just again, speaking like as a human, it's like, I can't make sense of that necessarily, because what does that even look like for someone like him?
I know. I think that comes into play because the area was known to be a high crime area and there were a lot of things going on there.
Gotcha.
And if he walked out being very drunk, he could have fallen prey to something.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and I still don't feel like, I even tapping into the energy of, even though knowing he was drinking, I don't feel like he was so intoxicated that he didn't know what he was doing. And I
agree.
I still feel that the argument between him and Clint had more to do with like a relationship with him and Clint. And I feel like the argument was more about, like in the previous show, was don't not marry her, don't not for me. You know what I mean? I feel like it was more of a, don't leave her for me, because this isn't going to work between the two of us, because we're all friends. And you know what I mean? I think it was just, and I agree with you, Maryam, that he really loved her, but he wasn't in love with her, and he didn't want to take her life away from her, where she could really truly be with a man that really loved her for who she was, and not feel like, because he was going to feel trapped if he stayed in that relationship. That's the energy that I get from that argument that he and Clint had. And I think you're right. That's why when they did, he refused the polygraph, because I think he just didn't want anybody to know. And so he was like, that's it, I'm out.
Yeah. Harlow told us which case we were doing. She said it was Brian Shaffer. And I saw just the basics of the case so I could set up the live stream. And I was like, man, at the time I was like, I wasn't getting anything. And I was like, this is going to be a strange case. The reason why I wasn't getting anything out of the gate is because I don't know if it's female intuition specific or just intuition that combined with like empathy, with women, you're just immediately feeling like, I feel something. I feel a connection. Like I said, maybe that's just a female intuition, female to female connection that you just can click in.
Yeah.
And with him, I was like, I'm not feeling anything, but also I'm feeling like this is not someone who gets taken for a ride. Like, okay, maybe someone may have jumped him, and maybe, it's like nothing about him feels very vulnerable.
Plus, how much of it is the fact that he abandoned that life and isn't living that way anymore? So how would you pick up on it?
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying how much the fact that he abandoned his own life affected your ability to pick up on his
that life,
on
that
that life.
energy of that life.
Right.
And when I was looking at the promo stuff, the very first thing I heard was he walked away, and then I got nothing else. So that's why I was very curious to do this show, because I wanted to see what other people got, because I was like, he just, like, without actually saying anything, he was like, see you later, bye.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what else had occurred to me is in all the other cases, you have family members keeping the case alive.
Mhm.
You have at least one family member that is desperately
Active.
active. And the fact that he has family members that are not doing that isn't because they don't love him. There's just a very different energy about his family members not engaging in it. And that energy isn't these people don't love him. This energy isn't why did you abandon him? This energy is like just this quiet stillness, which also basically confirms what we were feeling. It's like I'd much rather have quiet stillness because maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they have a piece that we don't.
Right.
And I hope that's the case. I hope that we are accurate with that, because we want these families at peace on whatever level they find it and need to find it.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, I'm wondering, with his mother and his father passed on, I wonder if he did contact his brother, because he just had the brother, correct?
Mm-hmm.
No sisters or anything.
Not that I know.
And I think he probably was just like, I don't get the sense that they hang out all the time, but I think they know each other are okay and they're just living their lives. And I don't know how much other family would have been out there. And unfortunately, when people pass on, sometimes families don't stay together anymore. They kind of dissipate, sadly, but kind of, that does happen.
Harlow, you want to share with us your experience?
Yeah, the one thing I didn't talk about, which I kind of forgot about, it happened a couple of days before we did our live show.
Mm-hmm.
I had already done the research, had done the video, and was finished with the case. And I decided to just go in meditation and ask what had happened. And I just saw 3 quick images, and one kind of melted into the next. And the first was like a black buzzard with its arms up that turned into a crow or a raven with a gold band or ring in its beak. And then the next was this guy standing there, nobody else around, just this guy with a bloody face. But I didn't know what that meant at the time. And I told Maryam I had had these images, but I didn't tell her what they were. And she just said to write them down. So I put them in my notes section of my phone. And I think it says the 15th on it. Mm-hmm. And then after the show, I went back and looked at them, and then they made sense.
So talk to us about what when you say it makes sense, what does that mean for you?
I wasn't sure about the buzzard, if it's just supposed to represent death or if he was dead or not. But the crow with the gold band or ring in its mouth certainly can serve for the relationship with the girlfriend. He was about to propose, supposedly, but yet not. And then the man was standing there by himself. He wasn't dead. He was fine, but it seemed to me like he had been beating himself up. So it just kind of all fell into place after hearing what you guys got.
Wow, that's amazing. I love the synergy when that lines up. But also, Harlow, your interpretation of it is important, since it was your vision that came to you, what you felt like it was. Did you get, before the show, did you kind of see what you just described as far as the interpretation of it, or did you interpret it after?
I wasn't sure exactly what it meant before the show, and I just kind of forgot about it, because then we did the show and I was busy with other things, and then it occurred to me, especially with the gold band, in its mouth.
Interesting.
And crows do like shiny things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's again, we always talk about interpretation, right? Interpretation. Everyone has psychic skill sets. So whether you're interpreting a dream you had, a vision you had, a psychic skill set you're using, interpretation is everything. So being able to feel confident and comfortable in that interpretation, and what a crow symbolizes to you may be very different than what a crow symbolizes to me or anyone else. So that's where, when we have these experiences, what you feel it is priority over what anyone else. Anytime someone will come to me and say, I had this dream or I had this vision, I'll say, okay, let's start with you. You need to tell us, what are you feeling? And so being able to get that clarity is really important. Well, it sounds like maybe we have a case where Brian hopefully is happy and content, and we leave him alone, as we did with Amy.
Yeah.
Who do we have coming up next?
The next one is Brianna Maitland. We did a short video on her that was on TikTok, and it got over 10,000 views. People are really asking for us to dive into that one, so I figured that was the next best case.
Okay, you guys, good work. We'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right.